Alright, many people were wondering how I made the front cover to my book. And I'm just going to demonstrate for you what it is. I'm using a program called Matrix. It's a CAD program. It actually is solely designed for designing jewelry, but you don't have to design jewelry in it. You can do whatever else. It's actually kind of part of my day job. This is one of the first ones I designed. Basically, I just modeled this in 3D CAD in space, 3D space. It represents a part of what my novel is, and this is a journal from the book. So I did that, and basically you just apply a material to it, and you're able to render that there. So, and I'll show you that. So what that looks like is, let me bring out the master file. It'll take a second to load here. There we go. I'll probably get some errors because I deleted files out of it. So anyways, we have it all set. I just need to change my angle here. It's a master file which holds each item I click on has a material assigned to it. So like that's like a book cover leather type material or fabric or something. So that's how that works. So then I go in here to render, and what I do is I apply all the materials I want to. So my ground plane here is like a white fabric or a linen, and I apply that material. So once that material is applied, I can then go here, and this is my camera settings, and those camera settings set like focal points. So I want my camera target to be the title. So I select something here and set my camera target. It'll change my angle a little bit. I just go like this, and that's that. So I'm going to change my resolution right now just to 1280 by 720, and just away we go. Hit enter, and then what happens? You just hit render, and here it goes. Now this was my first draft of my front cover. Really didn't like it too much. It's hard to see, for one thing. It's something that a digital copy you won't be able to see it very well. This does take some time to render. You see what it's doing. It's going around through here and things like that. So we have to we're gonna wait it out. It does take some time, and I'll resume the video when it's pretty much finished, but I'll just give you a little glimpse as to what it does. You see that fabric material in the background just going through. Now there's a light here that looks like a table lamp that's going to hit right here. You don't see it yet until the final thing goes through. You see, this is quite dark for a front cover. It just wouldn't work. So it's going through here, and it's not too bad. So we got here, and at first I had this raised. This was raised right here. It wasn't really embedded, but I decided to embed it. And the parts that make it look real is, for instance, just little details such as I'd have the top corner kind of curled up. Now I add materials afterward in Photoshop and maps layered to make this look a little aged and worn in the final image. And here's our lamp. You can start to see it right here. Go. And that's the part that takes the longest because it's adding a light material, and it actually has to add a shadow. See that? In other renders I had feathers falling in here. Some of them were blurred out, they were closer, and the focal point, it looked really nice. Okay, we get the idea. It's pretty nice. So I'm gonna... Now the final one that I did, it took me a while. I was indecisive as to what I wanted to do. So what I did was you bring in a... I bought a stock image, and let's go to looking down view. I don't know if there's curves in here or not. Okay, there is. And let me delete that. Okay, I had these curves here, and it's of a woman. And then I took it and made it my own. I don't like stock images, you know, because you can get it from somewhere. So I changed it quite a bit. It's very different than what I first got. So I'm going to there's a part in here called art, and what you do is I brought this PDF file in of the image, and it's able to trace and make these curves. So I just drop it in here, and what it does is it automatically fills these in. Okay, and I'm just going to change the profile shape so that it's actually just like a flat piece, like that. Okay, and that's pretty much good. I update the resolution though to it to make it much smoother for the render. You don't want it to look jagged, because this art tool uses what's called an STL file. STL files are very high in density, and they're very heavy. They slow your computer down quite a bit when you're making these. Just wait a second here. It's alright, we got it. And then when you're done, what I do is come over here and just do create mesh. It's a mesh file. So go to plastic, and now I was ready to go. I just started adding elements to it. That same feature with this is the same way that I added the blood into it. Delete that. Let me just bring out the original file like this. Same thing. I added these feathers in, and see, the first one I did, I added the lettering. Didn't like that because it adds shadow, and I had to add that afterward. So I assigned a color to each of these, and when you assign a color to it, you're able to assign a material. So I'm going to go to render and add a material. I went to plastic. Literally, it's a plastic material, and I go to red, and then bring the red down to a deeper tone for blood. Little grotesque, sorry, but there we go. And that's good. And then in the realistic version, I got rid of the lettering. It wasn't there. So this is sitting here. And actually, let me sell all. I just wanted to show that to you, and delete it and bring out my master file, my render file. There we go. Yes. Which has all the materials applied already. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get rid of that, delete it. Now I wanted to render this in a looking down view, so I need to stay in that view, go over to render, and I need a custom size. 1920 by 1080 is full HD resolution. You can go higher because the format on Amazon calls for it. It actually wants a higher resolution. I resize it, which is okay because these renders are very high in quality, so you can resize it without any pixelation or anything, because I kind of age them a little bit anyway, so they look nice. But 1920 by 1080 is widescreen, so I want to do 1080 by 1920. Okay, and that gives me a lot of room to work with in my editors too. So scene editor, turn off depth of field. I don't want depth of field for this, which is basically like a camera effect, what it looks like if you took it with a camera. So we apply that, and then let's go ahead and hit render. Oh, I forgot to change my view. See how it jumped to my perspective view? I want looking down. I just click that little arrow right there and do looking down and hit render. And away she goes. And that looks like it was drawn with ink. So then when that's all done, I just save the image out, bring it into Photoshop, do some aging to it, and that is that. It's complete.